Jesus.
yeah, 2-0.
Yeah.
North London derby.
Where did it all go wrong?
How are you feeling?
Honestly, like I was shitting bricks before the game,
Yep.
and like that there was this part of me that believed, but deep down I knew that this is probably coming.
Yep.
So before the game even started, my girlfriend looked at me and she was like, what's up with you? Why are you so downbeat or whatever, right? There was like, listen, I have faith. I will support the team, but I'm kind of like, I kind of know what will happen, right? And unfortunately it did. And the thing is, I was kind of thinking, like, before you guys brought me in, right? If I should go absolutely ballistic, because I kind of feel like I should, because like that's the reaction I think we all should have after such a loss, right?
Yep.
But on the other hand, similar to us, and I'm at the point where, frankly, it's hard to give a fuck. Like,
I think we're all feeling like that at the moment, and that's the thing.
And I don't know which one is worse, right? Because if I got pissed, I like lashed out. We all got mad, and we put it all out there, and maybe I would become then. But right now, deep inside me, I'm kind of like downbeat, and it's so hurtful because like if I compare it to last season when we were kind of doing well, right? If we lost, then I was pissed because I knew that we can play better and we can act better, right? Instead, this time we just lost to our biggest rival at our own ground, and I know that there wasn't much we could have done about it. And like even worse is that I don't really think that Arsenal played that. Listen, they are brilliant, right? They played us off the park. What I mean that by didn't play that well is that they didn't even have to try that much.
Actually, something similar.
Yeah, and it's like you don't have to try much if the opposition goalkeeper just pushes the ball into his own net. And like seriously, like at the beginning of the season when Lloris was doing similar things, I was getting pissed. But today we just conceded that goal, and I was like
yeah,
shit happens, right? I kind of expected that, and and it's like I put faith into those players. I put faith into the manager. I put faith into the fan base. I put faith into the board. And I'm being let down like pretty much every single step, right? And it's like,
is that not the life of a Spurs fan though? Is that not life of a Spurs fan? You constantly believe, and you're just constantly being let down by. If it's not the players, it'll be the board. If it's not the board, it'll be the manager. It's just we're just getting used to it now. And you make a great point there where you say that Arsenal didn't have to break out a second. Didn't break a sweat, and we've gifted them a goal from distance, and Lloris has made a howler. A North London derby, and we're saying that they didn't break us down. So yeah, I could totally agree with you.
Actually, in my opinion, when I look at the game, right, I think that we kind of created good opportunities. They weren't like clear cut, 100% chances that you have to score, right? But they were good opportunities. And I feel like if we played with belief and with confidence, I think some of those would have ended up in the back of the net, right? And on the other hand, I think that Arsenal also created a lot of like dangerous situations, but I don't think that there were like any tap-in opportunities or whatever, right? Where somehow miraculously we didn't concede, right? The issue is that we, as you said, it's literally a goalkeeper howler and a shot from distance that, let's be honest, if we were on our feet and we were ready and we were focused, Odegaard shouldn't have the space to unleash such a shot, right?
Yeah, agreed.
And honestly, we were kind of lucky that Partey didn't score again. Like Madman is leashing out wordies, against us and not against anyone else. But it is what it is, right? So yeah, like I think that like players performances, a lot of players weren't on it today, in my opinion. And honestly, I think that's what hurts me the most, is that even if you even if you know you are worse than your opposition, it's such an important thing for your fans that you should be on it. Just just show me more passion. And I don't mean just clatter someone and get a red card and get sent off, right? What I mean is that like in the 80th minute we are 2-0 down and we are passing it around the back and trying to do something. Try something creative, try something risky. You are losing anyway, right? And I know like the counter argument to that is that they don't want to lose even more goals, right? But football is sometimes about taking risks. Football is sometimes about being brave and creative. And I feel like we are so rigid in this formation. And also I think that our defense, like I think like the biggest issue in our club is the defense and the goalkeeper, because like what we were good at last season was bringing the ball out of the defense quickly to Kane, Kane spinning with it, passing to Son running through on goal, right? The issue is that our defense is so low on confidence right now, and they are so, I guess, back to their level that our forward line, our forward line has to drop back to pick up the ball from them, because they cannot attempt to a long pass because all of them were lost, right? We are losing every second ball. We are losing aerial duels. We are losing balls with like horrendous passes. And the issue is that then our front three has to come in to pick up the ball, but then there is no one to actually run onto those balls when they pick it up, right? Kane was receiving the ball in the middle of the pitch, and Son was closer to our goal than to their goal, right? It's not how the system is supposed to perform, but the system is reliant on center backs and wing backs providing like the width and the creative outlet for the forward line to actually attack, right? The issue is that we cannot do that with those players. And like, I'm sorry, I know plenty of callers will probably say that, but Loris, thank you for your service. You were a brilliant like player for us, but I think it's time to move on. And Dyer, not really thank you for your service, but thank you. It's time to move on, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of other players. Sessegnon, I think he actually got into 2 or 3 good positions today, but the crosses were shambolic. I think that he got constantly skinned by Saka when he was defending, right?
Thank you.
Doherty, yeah, thank you for your service, right? Doherty, I actually think Doherty played well today, and Martinelli wasn't really that big of a threat on the left hand side,
yeah.
but they clearly targeted Sessegnon on the right side of our pitch, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And you could see that, like, and with people, I am critical of Conte. I think that he didn't really prepare us tactically well enough to deal with what Arsenal are good at. And I also feel like when you are 2-0 down in a London derby, you have to be more proactive with your changes. And listen, again, the counter argument is, who is he supposed to bring in, right? Hill isn't like of the best quality, and Richarlison is coming back from an injury, and yada yada yada. But as I said, I think sometimes football is about taking risks, and I just feel like we didn't really give it a go in a sense today. And funny thing is that my girlfriend got me like a Christmas present from our shop. She bought me a scarf, and she brought me like this small figurine of Antonio Conte. And I'm actually kind of worried that we will soon have a manager change, and this figurine will not really be will not be my talisman to look at in the games, right? But yeah, boys, I'm just sad, and like I expected more. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect us to win. I just expected more fight and more desire to actually win that game, even if it didn't manage to, right? But the fact that we lost 2-0 at our own ground, I think it's kind of pathetic, and yeah.
Quick question, Michael. Sorry to interrupt you. You're the manager. You're now, Conte's been sacked. You're the manager. You're playing Arsenal. You're at home. What changes do you? How do you set up? What do you do formation wise? What do you do different? What would you do?
I think the issue is that with the profile of players that we have, I kind of feel like there is not much to be done there, because I don't think that going to a 4 at the back and 3 in the midfield would solve our issues, because as I said, for me the main issue of this team is the back line.
Yeah.
And like Dyer with Romero in a back two, and for example Doherty and let's say Sessegnon as a left back and right back, this doesn't solve the issues that we had in this game. Because like similarly you have to, like, one of the midfielders would have to provide cover for them. So in essence you kind of play, I don't want to say you kind of play a back five, but one of the midfielders has to help out. So like I honestly think this game was down to quality of the players, and I'm really sad to say that, because I feel like there are parts of the pitch where individually we actually have better players than Arsenal. It's just that with the whole 11 we cannot utilize those players effectively, right? As I said, last season we were using Kulusevski's, Son's and Kane's strengths really well, and today with the squad that we currently have, I don't think there was much to be done. And listen, like you could maybe do some damage limitation tactics and maybe try to shithouse a 0-0 draw or whatever, right? But then again, would our fans be satisfied with such performance? Probably not, right? You are a home side in a derby, so you kind of have to give it a go. So and also, like, I'm not really that good tactically, so I don't know. Maybe if we played a 4-3-3 and Bentancur was fit, and maybe Perisic had a game of his life on the left and didn't get skinned by Saka, right? If Perisic was playing, then maybe we could have probably done something. But I just think personnel wise we weren't up to it today, and we weren't of the players weren't of enough quality to actually win that game, in my opinion.
Quick question again, Mike.
That's really sad to say. Yeah.
You know, Spurs obviously in the window, or in general actually any window, we've said, like, you know, we don't have a lot of money available to buy the players that we need. Would you put Kane up for sale and reinvest that into the squads, or would you keep Kane and would you let his contract run out potentially and get him to leave on a free? Go.
It's a tough one for me, because like as most of us, I love Kane, I love Son.
Do you think he played well today as well? The front three, do you think they played well?
They were okay, in my opinion. It's just again, I feel like it's hard for me to criticize Kane, Son, and Kulusevski when they have to play off their role and off their position to actually allow us to progress the ball, right? They should have been sitting way further up the pitch, and actually they should have relied on the backline to provide them the balls, right, and the midfield. But we couldn't like give them that. So like it's hard for me to criticize them. I feel like maybe all three of them lacked that like clinical edge in them. I think we lacked a bit of like calmness and composure when they were finishing. I feel like Son of last season would have buried that chance in the first half, and I feel like maybe Kane could have buried one of the chances that he had. Again, it was a hard shot. It wasn't like a clear-cut chance, so I'm not really critical of him that he didn't score it. But coming back to your original question about like putting them up for sale,
would you sell Son? I'll put Son in there as well.
I actually, I know like many people will give me stick for this, but I think actually if Son doesn't start performing, if Son keeps performing like this until the end of the season, I think I would put him up for sale. The issue is that if he keeps playing like that, will we get a good fee for him? I doubt it. He's a 30-year-old left winger who doesn't really put numbers in, and you know who lacks quality by his standard, right? This season so far. So for me, like I would probably put him up for sale. And with Kane, I have a feeling that he will probably, if things don't change, and we don't pull our shit together, I feel like he will probably run his contract down and move to another English club next summer. But I wouldn't sell him if he doesn't want to leave, because I feel like he is the talisman of this team, and he's our star boy or whatever, right? And I just can't say that I would sell him. Uh, again, it's also hard for me to say the same thing with Son, right? It's so painful for me, but at least, Kane isn't playing well this season, in my opinion, but he has fucking 15 goals in the Premier League, so you cannot really knock him for not doing his job, right? Whereas, again, I love Son. I want him to do well. I want him to perform. I am rooting for him. But if he ends this season with like 5 goals and 3 assists or whatever, that's not good enough. That's a left winger from like West Ham or whatever, right? A relegation team, right? So yeah, that would be my way of thinking. And with Conte, I have a feeling he won't leave, and I cannot back it with any reasonable arguments. It's just my hunch, and yeah, I think he won't leave. He will be here until summer, and there is a lot of things riding on this January window. I think that if we actually buy him some players, and it doesn't have to be like Bastoni and Hakimi or whatever, right? I think that if we just provide him the tools, I think that he will stay until the summer. Yeah. And then we'll probably get the same like story that we had last season, whether our club decides to back him or not, right? Because if you remember in June last season, it was pretty much the same thing. We didn't really know if he's going to stay or whatever, right? And then actually, like, some journalists reported that they had the talk, and they had some sort of a plan apparently, and he stayed, right? And also, like, I promise I will end like shortly, but I also subscribe to what I also subscribe to what Asan said. I feel like what we as fans want and what is not being provided by our club is some sort of a vision and a plan.
Yeah.
And also I want to back Asan in what he said, that if the club, whoever it is, like a spokesperson for a club, came out today in a week or whatever and told me that we are doing a project youth, we are going to, this is our target, this is the plan, those are the steps to go to reach the target. I, as a fan I'm only a fan for 4 years, I'm up for it, right? I want this to happen. I would rather have a plan and a clear vision and know what to expect, rather than go chopping and changing and going from an attacking manager to defensive manager to win now manager to project manager. It's too much. You don't know how to feel about this club, right? And I want us to have a vision, basically. And whether it's this guy who is the manager and we support him or not, or whether it is someone else, I don't really give a damn. But some things have to change. It's just it cannot go like this, because we will suffer. And seriously, if things keep going this way, and and Kane leaves eventually, and Son leaves eventually, and Kulusevski actually leaves because like he won't have anyone to play with, I think we might be in for a really like shocking and bad things. But I'm hopeful that it will not get to that. I am hopeful that we will actually do something positive for once, right? So yeah, like I'm downbeat over the scoreline, but I'm honestly, I won't say that I didn't expect that.
Great call, Michael. Great call.
Big up.
Thanks for coming on. And as always,
big up, boys.
Yeah. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. We are smashing City on Thursday.